let's talk about Raw. The final Raw in standard definition. Next week, Raw goes HD. Those of you who don't care are retarded. This is going to be awesome.
This is going to be fascinating.
It's going to be awesome. They were even making fun of how disgusting Snitsky was going to be in HD.
It was a public warning. They gave us all a week's notice. Gene Snitsky is going to be on your television in high definition. Don't eat before the show.
Jeff Hardy came out and said in 2 weeks he had the chance to become WWE champion. Jeff Hardy is WWE champion, he said. Wow. 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 He said he vowed to take Orton. He was going to outtake Orton before the match. He was going to take Orton out as well. And while last week it didn't happen, tonight it would. He said Orton could either come out now or he'd go back and find him. So Orton came out. And anyway, to make a long story short, he said, listen, if the WWE title is on the line at the Rumble, I want the IC title on the line tonight. I want to be the first man in history the third man in history to hold both the WWE and IC titles at the same time. Done, said Jeff Hardy, and that was that. This was fine.
They did not name the prior two men to be Intercontinental Champion and WWE Champion simultaneously. I knew Ultimate Warrior, of course. And
I don't think Warrior's one of them.
At WrestleMania 6, he was the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, but they immediately took the belt away.
I believe that counts.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong. I don't have a clue who the other one is. It's driving me crazy.
I think there were two more. I don't know.
I guess I'd look it up when I get home.
I don't care. Mickey and Ashley and Maria against Jillian, Melina, and Beth Phoenix. In one match, we saw the best and worst of WWE women. Some people can leave. I like to think that I was one of these people. Leave the business for several years and come back, and you just feel like you get it more than you did before you left. Ashley, not one of them.
No. Any skills she had, and she apparently left behind in China.
She could not climb onto the middle rope. She sucked. Maria's very slender. She is preparing for her Playboy shoot. And Mickey and Beth look good. And then Beth pinned Mickey, and that was the end of that. Why this match aired and we had Regal and Ric Flair cut in half, I have no idea. But someone should be strung up.
When you say it was the best and worst of women's wrestling in one match, it was the best and worst in one shot. Because there was a point where Beth and Mickey were doing their finish in the ring, and the other four chicks were brawling on the floor, and it was so horrid.
Vince met with Regal, said he had a gift for him. One thing for Regal to end Rick's career, but another thing to do it here in Mobile, Alabama. He said it was a good thing the show was not in HD because it would bring out Snitsky. He said Snitsky said he wanted a match tonight. He wanted to make an impact. Every time I hear that word impact, I'd shudder.
Flinch.
I do. I hear impact, and I'm like, yeah. Plus, impact and Snitsky. There's two things to shudder about. So anyway, HBK came out, cut a promo, saying it was bullshit he had to qualify for the Royal Rumble. Said he didn't win last year, but he was a runner-up, so that should count. Plus, he'd won on 2 occasions. But still, he had to qualify. He said it was unfair, but such is life. He didn't want to usurp the authority that was the WWE. He said since he was out there, he wanted to challenge Mr. Kennedy to a match. He might as well make that the qualifier. Instead, Trevor Murdoch came out. This match excited me. I don't know why, but it did. And it was fun.
Yeah.
This was maybe the most fun match on this show.
Oh, I think without question.
They had a fun little wacky match, and then Sean set up for the super kick, and Murdoch dropped to his back to avoid it, and so Sean grabbed his legs and put him in a new hold, a reverse figure four, an inverted figure four they called it, for the submission. This is Shawn Michaels, so this new hold is already over. I don't know how or why, except as I tried to explain on the board to several people in regards to Shawn Michaels' attire and ring song, he's Shawn Michaels.
He can do stuff.
That's why.
He gets away with stuff other guys don't.
Because he's Shawn Michaels.
Because
that's
he is
the
Shawn
only
Michaels.
fucking reason.
They had a very simple, basic, short, sadly, only like 4 minutes, but just an easy, basic TV match, and Trevor Murdoch is good, and Sean's fucking Sean, and so this was a ton of fun.
And then Mr. Kennedy appeared on the big screen and threatened another match for next week with Shawn Michaels, and I can wait. Actually, their last match was good. We'll get to see Shawn Michaels and Mr. Kennedy in HD.
That's another way of looking at it.
Don't know what that means, but we get to see it.
But it's true, yes. At least this was logical. Kennedy's pointed out, hey, I already beat you, I don't have to beat you again, but I'll do you a favor, and he talked down to him, so it all made sense.
Yeah. Everybody booed when this was over, and so did I. I don't know.
You wanted to see Shawn and Trevor Murdoch again.
I did. I'd rather see them wrestle 100 times than Shawn and Mr. Kennedy once. Because Shawn looks like he's having fun in there with Trevor Murdoch.
I suspect he probably was. Probably wasn't getting hit every time.
Vince met with the midget and said he had to realize he was going to be in the ring with 30 other men in 2 weeks. He'd never been in a match like that before. He said tonight he was going to give him some experience, a mini Royal Rumble. He said Hornswoggle would be in the ring, and then Mr. Kennedy would come in, and then Mankind, then Batista, and maybe a surprise or two.
Yes, Mankind.
Batista.
Also strange.
He said if the little feller was successful tonight, he had a chance of winning the actual match and going on to the main event of WrestleMania. And let me tell you, if I go to Orlando and Hornswoggle's in the main event of WrestleMania, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be trouble. I'll be doing a rain dance out in the jungles and hoping that WrestleMania gets flooded and it cannot take place. So then he throttled the young feller and said he was a McMahon, anything could happen, and then he added, "I'm proud of you, damn proud." That was that.
It was just strange, but it was mostly just an excuse to let Hornswoggle sit on the couch and cower in fear of his father.
Yeah. Hunter and Snitsky. Ross asked, and I quote, "Can high-definition TV take Snitsky?" Answer's no.
No,
This is not a question.
Your TV and me actually begin to smoke.
So Hunter tossed him outside early, and just like in TNA, Ross said, "More to come, much more to come when we return." And I thought, wow, there's a hook. More of Triple H and Gene Snitsky.
Yes.
So they came back, and Gene was beating on him. He put him in a long bear hug. It was very boring. Hunter hit a DDT, ended up going for the pedigree, but he was sent outside, and they were brawling out there. Snitsky tried to hit him with the steps and missed, which is an impossibility for anyone with any semblance of any physical gifts. And then Hunter hit him with a chair for the DQ. And then Hunter gave him the sledgehammer shot to the gut, pedigreed him, and that was the end of that. I was hoping, you'd mentioned that they were doing an injury angle. They may as well send him to ECW because that will not be in HD anytime soon, I don't think.
No.
We don't get sci-fi in HD here. We only get the CW, which is for SmackDown, and Raw. And for those of you that haven't heard, Raw next week HD.
Yeah.
SmackDown the following week, or the following Friday in HD.
I assume.
And in the Royal Rumble, also in HD.
And presumably all pay-per-views and those two shows forever in HD.
Yes.
I presumed when they acknowledged that Gene Snitsky was friggin' ugly and it would be in HD next week, I thought they knew we can't put this man on HD television. And I thought they were writing him out. I thought they wrote out the character of Gene Snitsky tonight,
well,
or at least put him back on ECW.
At some point, they're going to have to come to grips with all of these ugly people in high definition.
Yes, but he is at one end of the spectrum.
Well, that's train wreck television.
Maria is at the other end.
She is. God, is she ever.
This match bored me to slumber.
I can't even imagine Maria in HD.
Now you have 7 days to wait. It's going to be grand.
In fact, I have 6 days to wait.
Well, that's as we speak.
No. It is Tuesday right now.
Okay. You have 6 days and 20 hours.
Yeah.
I rounded up.
Why? Don't do that. 6 days.
Sorry, master.
Six days left.
Oh, I understand. You can wait 6 days. 6 and 20, that you can't pull off.
No, 7 I can't pull off.
I see.
6 and 20 I'm okay with. That's still 6 days. That ain't 7.
So Hunter went to the top of the ramp.
It's not 7, though, is it?
It's closer to 7 than 6.
But it's not 7.
Nor is it 6.
Yeah, it is.
No!
Hold on a second. If I'm looking at this top of this monitor, okay?
Okay.
And I put something...
This has new standards for stupid arguments.
And
Go
I
ahead.
put something right here.
Yes.
Okay? Yes, it's closer to this. But it's still right here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, less than 7 is not 7. It's just not.
Nor is it 6, though.
But it's more than 6, but it's still 6.
What?
Okay, 6.99999 to infinity is still 6. It ain't 7.
How the hell did you ever get out of high school?
But it's not 7.
How do you balance a checkbook?
Well, I'm a genius. And that's why I can tell you right now that anything less than 7 is not, in fact, 7.
No one's denying that, dude.
Okay, well, I'm telling you that there are not 7 days left till I get to see Marine HD.
Fine.
There's
Brian,
6.
No. As long as...
There's
it's less than 7 days.
That's true.
Fair.
Six and something. It's 6 and something.
Okay.
Is it not?
It is 6 days and change.
It's not exactly 6. I'm well aware of that.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock tonight, it'll be exactly 6. But
Yes.
for right now, it's not 7.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Talk to me like I'm a fool. What are you talking about?
So Hunter went up to the top of the ramp. He was celebrating with his hammer. He was being all happy, and then Vince appeared on the little mini Titantron at the back of the stage, basically right in front of Hunter. It was just Vince's giant head. He's told Hunter that he was angry and violent just because he was not going to be in the Royal Rumble match. He told him he needed to calm down and he needed to take a chill pill.
Yes.
Hunter wasn't having any of this malarkey. He eyeballed his sledgehammer. He looked up at Vince on the screen, and Vince looked back at him and reacted. And he saw what Hunter was doing through the screen.
Vince sold a sledgehammer coming at a picture of his face.
Yes, when Hunter reared back with a sledgehammer, and Vince on the screen flinched. And Hunter threw his sledgehammer through the fabric screen. Somehow this resulted in flames and pyrotechnics going off. And, yes, he ruined the screen.
On the subject of pictures, what do you think of my new picture?
Oh, the one up by the fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, very classy.
I got a picture of, it's a map from 1777.
Yes, it's an old school map of the globe.
It lists the Antarctic Ocean as the Southern Icy Ocean.
That's poetry.
And
I didn't look at it that close, honestly.
There's the Southern Icy Ocean. All of the South is listed as Louisiana. And I believe Hawaii is listed as St. Catherine's Island.
Nice.
This map brings me tears of joy.
I did not look at it that closely. I just thought it's clearly an old historical map of the globe, and it looks quite nice hanging above your black marble fireplace.
It's awesome.
And then you got that pottery full of sticks there, too.
There's also a pot full of sticks, yes.
Do you have a better way to describe that? I don't.
I do have more sticks than I need to buy for that pot, but that's in the future. Don't want to go too crazy at Pier 1. Anyway, where were we? We're talking about Raw. Does anyone care?
Let's
Seriously.
talk about your sticks more. You also got a lamp.
I did get a lamp. I got a Japanese-style lamp.
It's a desk lamp. It's Japanese style, as you noted. It's got a large square-shaped top with it, and the room feels warmer now.
It really does. There is more heat, literally, in the room.
Well, that helps.
I should note that I am a notorious cheap bastard, and this little lamp costs like $100.
This is part of your
That
Christmas.
should tell you how much I like this lamp.
Wow, yes it does.
The idea of spending $100 on a lamp was tough.
But you found a way.
I did find a way. So those of you that sign up today are helping me pay for that little lamp, and it has brought me great joy. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Vince and Hunter backstage.
Oh, yeah, Vince and Hunter were backstage, and Vince said he'd let him back in the Royal Rumble because he was running amok. But only if he won his match next week. And Hunter said, my match? And Vince said, yes, your match. And then they cut away.
And he smirked.
It's a secret.
It's a tease.
JBL had his second coming with balloons and such. Cut a promo on Jericho. Ran him down. Told his children their father was a fool. And then he went away. He was a jerk. This had been going along great, and now we've got 2 weeks of lackluster angles.
I guess they just didn't have Jericho there and had nothing else for JBL to do, so we got this.
We need Jericho and JBL out there just yelling at each other more.
Like the first time.
That was effective.
Yeah.
This shitty strangling and promos cut on the kids, just lame. Then we had the Hornswoggle Royal Rumble. It was, in fact, a mini Royal Rumble as minis came out. We had a midget Mr. Kennedy, a midget Mankind, and a midget Batista who was, believe it or not, the Northwest's own Little Nasty Boy.
Ah, yes.
Little Nasty Boy was on Raw.
For those of you who are not familiar with the Pacific Northwest indie wrestling scene, the man who played Mini Batista on Raw tonight once wrestled a match against Road Warrior Animal.
Yes.
Animal had to sell for him.
He basically wrestled as a full-sized man around here.
Yes.
Which, if you've seen many of the wrestlers,
he's in fact
right
bigger
in.
and stronger than a lot of the men around here.
Anyway, then we had the Mini Kane, and long story short, Hornswoggle won, and then the real Great Khali came out, the tall one, and for some reason, Mini Batista got back in the ring and was stomping on Hornswoggle. I don't know if he was supposed to do this. We may not see him around much after this because it made absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I was trying to figure out why he was still in the ring, and then nothing became of it. So then, of course, outran Finlay. He destroyed Kali with the gimmick and then beat up Ranjin Singh. And then we had the big Finlay-Vince confrontation backstage where Finlay grabbed him by the throat, bitched him out for sending Kali out there. Vince said he hadn't. Finlay said if Vince messed up their deal, and Vince cut him off saying don't ever mention the deal again. Signed him to a match with Kali on SmackDown. Told him to never lay his hands on him again, and then Finlay was screaming that he was a liar. Both men were awesome here. Just fantastically awesome. And as for the Battle Royal, it was funny at the beginning. Then it went on way too fucking long. And then at the very end when Mini Kane tried a choke slam on Hornswoggle and was too short and too weak, then it was funny again. And then it ended. And there was also a great moment where when Mini Mr. Kennedy came out, they dropped the microphone from the ceiling.
As soon as I realized it was Mini Kennedy, I immediately thought they have to drop the mic from the ceiling and have it come up short.
Yep.
And I had thought of this a minute before it happened, and when it happened, I still howled with laughter.
Yes.
So obvious and so easy, and yet so funny.
He was too short.
And Hornswoggle walked up to him and kind of looked up and shrugged.
Yeah.
What can you do? You're short. Sorry.
We didn't have Mike Tenay and Don West laughing in a fake manner about
Jim Ross
it.
did not say, look, he's too short to reach the microphone.
Yes. It was a visual gag, like every fucking thing in pro wrestling, and it doesn't have to be explained to us. God, I hate TNA.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. I love the Battle Royal. I can see people are going to say we only got 3 minutes of Flair. We had to watch all this, but for what it was, I love the Battle Royal for itself. It was the Hornswoggle show. He press slammed, I think it was Mini Kennedy out of the ring, and he did the choke slam spot that was great, and he got powerbombed by Mini Dave. The only thing I
am so gravely offended that you were fine with this going along and cutting the Flair-Regal match.
I shouldn't say fine with it. If they had cut something else and we still got this, I'd be fine with that. I would have rather watched more Flair and Regal and less of this. Yes, that's true. But I was fine with this. They should have cut... What else was on here? They should have cut the women's match.
I said that earlier.
Okay.
Thanks for paying attention. Flair and Regal, the show was an hour and 53 in, and there were 2 more matches left, which made me sad. This was very fun while it lasted, but it did not last long. Came back from commercial. About a minute later, they were going to the finish. Flair did a leg breaker, put him in the figure 4. Regal got the ropes. And then Regal tried to pin him using the tights, but the ref caught him, so Flair rolled him up and pulled the tights on his own for the pin. And it was free, and I felt ripped off. Think about that.
Yes. Well, you got bait and switched.
Well, no, they gave us a match, but I still felt ripped off.
Well, it's not. It was. Yeah.
I wanted more.
Exactly. And
it's not like this was a tease to give us more next week.
No.
They just didn't give us enough.
There will not be a rematch. It's not building anything. Flair just won in 2.5 minutes with pulling the tights.
Bullshit.
People liked it. Yay. These next 2 matches were so squished together in such a short time frame, I didn't even write them down as separate things. My notes just read, let's see, Flair wins with Trunks, Orton DQ'd.
They had to have had an incident somewhere on this show where somebody went way too long, and I would guess it was Hunter.
Entirely likely.
So then we had Hardy and Orton for the IC title. Orton kicked him right in the balls as soon as the bell rang for the DQ. 5-second match. Seriously, 5 seconds. Orton then grabbed the mic and said, hold on, the show is not over. Trust me, you're going to want to see this. So he knew it was coming, basically. He tried to pull back the pretty black mats to expose the concrete, set up for the RKO, but Jeff fought back. Brawled all over the place up the ramp. Anyway, long story short, Jeff backdropped him off the stage onto a pad, and then he climbed onto a huge lighting rig and teased a senton, and then decided to go higher. And I was sitting there thinking, Orton is, like, in a weird position.
Orton was lying on his back with his feet pointed toward Jeff.
That's wrong.
There's nothing you can do to a guy from there.
What was Orton thinking? He couldn't have landed and adjusted? I'm asking you a question.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was rhetorical. I'm sorry.
Well, it was, but what was he thinking?
Apparently he was thinking, I've been backdropped off the stage onto this crash pad. I should sell it by being dead.
Well, he should have flopped a little and gotten in a better position. Or maybe Jeff wasn't supposed to hit him. I don't know. We didn't see a good replay, but Jeff did this giant senton off a giant thing. It landed on him. They teased that death had occurred. Seriously.
Yes. Check his pulse.
Check his pulse.
He's breathing.
He's breathing. Yes, shit like that. And they got all the EMTs out there, backboard, neck braces, and such. And in other words, no match at the pay-per-view. Both guys are dead. Hell of a way to go off the air there.
The last image was them stretching Jeff's corpse out, and he raised his hand in the air, and everyone cheered.
I talked to people that hated this. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was dumb.
It was dumb.
It was really
it
dumb.
did not make me want to see the match anymore.
No.
They were very careful.
Let's think about this. Last week it made sense in the cage match that Jeff tries to climb out, Orton's trying to stop him, so he has no recourse except to do a moonsault off the cage onto the Mad Samoan and wins. And Orton's like, my God, what this man will do to win a match. So this week, Jeff Hardy decides, first off, think about this. Why would Jeff Hardy come out at the beginning of the show and say, I want to win your title at the pay-per-view, but I'm vowing to take you out before that?
That is, in fact, illogical.
Why would you take the man out before the title match, thus resulting in no title match? Dumbass. And then he did it. He's climbing up on this big rig. He's 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view. Why would he risk his own life and try to kill his opponent at the pay-per-view, thus guaranteeing you're not going to have your pay-per-view match? That's awful dumb. What a dumb man.
Well,
what a dumb redneck.
He is a hick from North Carolina.
He must be. Well, he is. So this was just stupid. It made absolutely no sense. And, great. They fell onto a pad. Who cares? Nobody bought it.
No. It was not quite as blatant as the time Shane McMahon went over to the side and grabbed a crash pad and pulled it into position. They disguised it somewhat better. And they were very careful to shoot it so that we never saw either man land on it. And we probably would have watched them bounce lightly. But it was, We haven't seen anyone in WWE jump off something high in a long time, so I guess they thought it was just time.
We saw someone jump off something high last week, goofball.
I meant this is higher.
Yeah, at least last week he jumped off onto something hard, and it was impressive.
That was a much
if
more...
you consider such a stupid act impressive.
That was a much more physically... it had a much higher physical toll than this did.
Okay, so why couldn't you have Orton beat him at Royal Rumble, and then Jeff goes afterwards and goes off something high?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer to this. They did something dumb, Brian, and I'm trying to make stuff up and I'm failing.
Make something else up. Make something crazy up.
Jeff was so angry that he had not had the chance to defend his Intercontinental title that he decided he had to kill this man.
He's mad about his balls.
He did. He got kicked in the balls and he said, fuck you, I'm going to kill you.
Well, that's as good a reason as anything. Good job thinking, Vince. That's a rarity. Let's play a song and then we'll do some shout-outs here.